What if you had a decision making blueprint that guaranteed alignment in every area of your life? Hi, I'm Jennifer Ironside. Welcome to Women on a Mission movement, where the possibility podcast, where everything is possible. It is so great to be here with you today. So, what would your life look like? What would 2026, that's when I'm recording this in 2025, what if 2026, going into it, you had a decision making blueprint that guaranteed alignment in every area of your life? There was a time when I used to say yes to everything. I used to say yes when I didn't want to. I used to say yes because I didn't want to offend anyone. I used to say yes because, hey, what if this and what if that, right? And I was out of alignment within myself. And so, in saying yes to everything, I was creating this out of alignment until I realized that my yes was really just the fear of saying no. And once I mapped out my core values, every choice became simple because there was a time when I never believed that I even had a choice, that I just simply had to do whatever was asked, right? Has anyone else experienced that? Have you ever been in that position where you have felt like you always have to say yes, right? And maybe if you were to realize that it's really just a fear of saying no, that everything can change. And sometimes, we put ourselves in this place of indecision. And what happens is when we never have clarity for our lives, we can drift. And because I specifically speak to women, as women, we drift, or we say this favorite line of, I'm just going with the flow. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to go with the flow, right? And so there's never any clarity and you're just drifting along. And instead of having a blueprint, right, you go out there and you're chasing opportunities that are never meant for you. And so what happens? We can end up exhausted. We can end up burned out and worn out. And I remember in my 40s, I actually had a breakdown from burnout. I had a breakdown from my inability to say no. The fear of saying no meant that I was bad. That was the story that was unconsciously in me, right? However, today, I want to give you some steps. And while I'm giving you the steps today, I want you to be aware that in my Rise Circle mentorship, in the we're covering off on identity at the moment, and we're about to unleash this whole subject of your core values, right? Knowing what drives you, knowing what your blueprint is. Your core values give you your blueprint for making decisions. So we're going to identify our core values. So the first thing you do is you list 10 words that are important to you, right? So think about 10 things that are important to you. Maybe it's freedom, maybe it's family, maybe it's integrity, whatever it is. Think about the words that you would use as a guide for your life. So your values align generally to your belief system, right? So knowing what you believe, okay, and also knowing the purpose of what matters to you, right? So listing your 10 core values, this clarifies the things that matter to you, right? And ask the question, what do I stand for? Do I stand for faith? Do I stand for family? Do I stand for travel? Do I stand for adventure? Do I stand for fun? What are the things that matter to you, right? That's step one. List 10 core values. Step two is narrow that list of 10 down to 3 to 5 non-negotiable things that matter to you, right? This is very powerful. Simplicity is power. This is why we do this. All right. So your first step is the 10 core values. Your second step is 3 to 5 non-negotiables, right? So I want you to simply circle the top 5 words out of the first 10. Okay. And yes, do 10 to start with in step 1. So do step 1 and then step 2. Never shortchange yourself, right? Because it allows you to unpack what really matters to you. And then you're going to narrow the field. This is simple. You're going to bring it in and circle the top 5 things. Okay. So maybe it's integrity, maybe it's love, maybe it's growth, maybe it's connection. Okay. Just giving you some ideas of things that may be important to you. Okay. Being seen, being heard, using my voice, right? Clarity, consistency. These might be things that are important to you. So, step 1, identify 10 core values. Step 2, narrow that list down to 3 to 5 maximum non-negotiables. These are the things that I must have in my life. This matters to me most. And step 3 is to align passion, right? So passion brings energy. And there are things that I love about my life. And I know that when you interact with me, you will experience my passion because it brings the energy of what I believe in and what matters to me. And when I think about women on a mission movement, what matters to me, what is a value that I have and hold for this movement, women on a mission. And one of the values that I have for it is that you are someone who chooses to take action. That rather than just give lip service and use your words, that you're actually going to take action. Because that is a high value that I have for my own life personally, as well as I know the value and have seen what happens when we take action. Okay. So think about also what is something that I can never stop talking about, right? So, what is something that you never stop talking about? So, you're identifying the passion, right, to the things that you believe in. So, I just mentioned one of the things that I can never stop talking about, that is women, that is coaching, that is guiding, supporting, adding value. These are the things that I can never stop talking about. I can never stop talking about creating methods, creating tools, creating things to support my clients and the people that are in my world. You know, in the Rise Circle mentorship, it's about bringing women together. It's about connection, right? It's about mentoring. It's about speaking. It's about creating opportunity for other women to rise and to be seen and to be heard, right? So you have heard in what I've just been speaking to you about an example of values, an example of non-negotiables, an example of aligning your passion. Right. So what happens is in my Dream Mastery System program, which supports all of the programs that I deliver, whether you join me in the Rise Circle mentorship, whether you join me on a retreat, whether you join me coaching one-on-one in the Turning Point program or a 12-month program, right? The Dream Mastery System is my trademark. It's my system, right? And it's a system for women to create their personal power map and your blueprint for life. And this is one of the exercises that changes the trajectory of your decision forever. So creating this blueprint for your life that we're talking about, right? What if you had a decision making blueprint? Well, this is it, right? It's guaranteed alignment in every area of your life. When you apply this system and you identify your core values that are going to guide and drive your life, this becomes, right, one of the things that impacts the trajectory of your life and your decisions forever. So I've been sharing with you in brief some of my top values, and family is definitely a top value for me. Love is spirituality, growth, and change. I could give you all my top values actually, but really what this is about creating a ripple of aligned women, right? So, I spoke about women on a mission movement, and the value I have in that is taking action, because when you are on a mission, and your mission might be simply at this point to get out of bed, to be able to get out of bed, to get out of bed with joy, or maybe your mission is to travel overseas and to give into a charity, perhaps, right? Give of your time, give of your finance, whatever it is, right? Because we never need to measure what we're doing in our lives and what's important in our lives against what somebody else is doing. Okay. But we want to create a ripple of aligned women. We want to create a movement of women that are on a mission, that are taking action, that are loving life, that are passionate about what they do. Okay. So I'm excited to see what you come up with for your life in identifying your core values and allowing those values to be the blueprint of decision making in your life, because that is what happens. So if you're someone who's really indecisive, this value blueprint is really important for you, because it was going to change the game for everything, because it gives you a blueprint for making your decisions. All right. So I'm so thrilled to have you here. And if you'd love to go deeper into mapping your values and aligning your passion to your purpose, I'd love to invite you to join me, and you can start out by joining the Rise Circle Mentorship. It's a monthly membership. It's $97 a month, and it is something that gives you a taste of the work that I do. And then if you want to take it deeper, you can join in one of my next programs that I have available for you. So your power is never in becoming someone else. It's in remembering who you already are. And when you connect deeply with your values and create that blueprint for making decisions, you're going to cease being exhausted. You're going to cease the fear of saying no, and you're going to stand in the power of you, remembering who you already are. So thank you so much for joining me here on the women, I forget what I'm called, the Women on a Movement mission, the Women on a Mission movement. Let's get it right. Women on a Mission movement, the Possibility Podcast. I so appreciate you being here. And I love that you love my bloopers, because we bring it all, right? We bring it all. Because here's what my t-shirt says. You probably can't see it, but it says, "You are enough. You are enough." So it doesn't matter if you've got bloopers on your YouTube video. Anyway, love you so much. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.